Hello, let's look at the basic animation and rigging in Houdini. And we can use the rig character for our close simulation in one of my other tutorials. First, let's go to mishamo.com to download my favorite character, Remy. And I also need another character called Passive Marker Man. And let's switch to Houdini and merge the Filmbox files. First one, let's merge the remy.fbx file. So let's select that one and click accept, then merge. The head of the character is too big because in Houdini we use meters. So let's scale the character down. Let's try 0.05. Still too high. It's more than 15 meters. So let's give another value 0.005. Now when you look at Remy, it's roughly less than 2 meters tall, so which is correct. So the value is 0.005. And let's merge in another character. So let's choose passive markerman.fbx file, accept, and merge. Also, we need to make passive markerman shorter. So let's try some value which is too short, less than 1 meter. Okay, let's try another value. And this is good. And let me show you why I need two characters. Okay, first let me hide the passive markerman and show only the Remy. These are the locators and bones. And also on this side, we have geometries and their shaders and chop networks. So let's look at the geometries. Let's hide the tops, bottoms, and you can see that, okay, actually the bodies are not a whole body. Only you have the arms and lower legs. So I'm going to merge in the passive marker man, combine them, so you have a whole body. So let me look at the marker man body. Yeah. Okay, I'm going to use some part of the geometry and combine with the Remy geometry. Because this is a quick tutorial, I will skip the modeling process. I will show you only the results that I have came up with. So you realize that I have a Remy work in progress geometry. Then let's go into there. Then you can see that, okay, I merge in Remy body. Then I will delete the middle part, and also edit the location of the arms. On the other side, I merge in the passive marker man. I delete the arm and lower legs and the head. I also did some edit and transforms, so that when I merge them together, they roughly match. Then I move the points manually and edit some points, and also fuse them together. So after that, I cache the geometry out using a file cache node. Okay. Then for the shirt, I merge in the original tops geometry, but I delete some parts because it was waterproof geometry, so I need to delete. So it's a single layer geometry, good for cloth simulation. Then for the pants, for the simplicity, I removed some of the small component and also make the geometry open. So that's the final one I get. That's good for cloth simulation. So I also cache out the geometry. Then for the rest, for example, the eyes and eyelashes, I also cache out the geometry individually. Then I use a merge node to merge all this together. Oh, please note, I also clean up some of the topology issues the geometry have. And now let's look at how we can rig the character since we have the model. I'm going to mixamo.com again to download a walking cycle animation with skeletons and animation keyframes. Okay, so I will choose this one. There's another one better one, but in this tutorial I will choose this one. So it's a Filmbox format without skin. So because we have the skin already, so I just need the skeleton and animation. I'm looking at 24 frames per second, and I'm not going to reduce any keyframes. So click download. And okay, let's switch back to Houdini. Okay, I also skip some of the steps. Basically, I create a new file and file merge in individual components of the geometry. For example, the tops, the bottoms, the body, yeah, the eyes, and merge them together. So this is my geometry in the new for the new file. Then I'm going to merge in the skeleton and animation. So let's go to the look for the one that I just downloaded, and the skeleton is in but too tall. I need to scale it down. I mean the node is here. Okay, let's dive in. Okay, it's too tall. Let me drop down a null node, name it overall transformation. Then let me scale it down. I think I remember the value is 0.005. Yeah, and the animation start from 0, but we need a t-pose at -10 frame. So I'm going to change the start frame to be -10, and the end frame, let's say we're going to need 120 frames. So yeah, apply. Also change from the timeline. So now the t-pose is supposed to be at -10. Yeah. So now let's go to frame 0. I select all the locators. So I add a filter. The type is, from the drop down menu, you just type null now. Okay, and double click, select all. Now you select all the locators. Okay, then I right click on the rotation. I set keyframe at frame 0. So I select all the locators and set keyframe, and I move to -10, frame -10, and set all the rotation to be 0. And right click and set the keyframe unselected. So we have a T-pose at -10. But again, you realize that, okay, the skeleton doesn't match our geometry, so I need to move the skeleton in positive Y direction. So, okay. Quickly move it. And I also realized that the skeleton is not symmetrical, so I need to modify the skeleton pose a bit. So I'm going to select the locator, but first of all, I need to turn off the Remy selection flag. So when I select, I only select the locators. I will not accidentally select the geometry. So select the shoulder, select the elbow, and pose the skeleton so they roughly match the geometry. And let me select all the locators again. Okay, now let me keyframe again at -10 frame. Okay, now it looks good. Now it's time to merge in the skin geometry. So let me drop down a geometry node, name it skinning Remy. Okay, let's step in, delete the file node, drop down object merge, name it Remy skin geo. So let's point it to the Remy out node. So this way, you can see I need to change the transform to into this object. So if you hide other geometry, you can see the merged in geometry. So let's go out and turn off the original geometry, original model. Let's focus on the skinning model and skeletons. Go to rigging shelf and click on the capture geometry shelf tool. First, you need to select the geometry, press enter. Then secondly, you select the root of the skeleton, press enter. Just to note, for each step, you need to move your cursor to viewport and hit enter. Let it run a while. After it's done, you can see the result is not expected. So let's fix this. Because our T-pose is at frame -10, so we need to capture the skin also at frame -10. So let's select the bone capture lines and expand the capture options and change the capture frame to be -10. And now the lines are generated at the T-pose frame. And let's cook individual node to see the output from the node. If I click on the bone deform, it still looks the same because we need to reset the cache. Just select the stash node and stash the input. And now if you scrub the timeline, Remy is properly rigged. This is the very basic model cleanup, rigging and animation. And next, let's look at For example, if we want to rig the Remy geometry for cloth simulation, and we need to only rig the body, not the t-shirt and pants. So let's go into the original geometry, Remy geometry, drop down a merge node. We only merge the body and maybe the eyes, but not the tops and bottom, the shoes. And just drop down also a null node, name it out skin, out skin geo. And let's go back to the rig and let's look at the skin geometry. We need to update the object merge node. Let's point to the new out skin geo and recook everything. Slash the input and see that okay, we only see the body. Then we can use it as the cloth simulation collider. If you like cloth simulation, you can check out my other cloth simulation Houdini tutorial. And also we need 120 frames, but current animation only roughly at 20 something, so we need to make the animation cycle longer. So I select all the locator again and scope the rotate channel in the animation editor. So we have 68 nodes selected, and let me scope the parameters, selected parameters, and zoom all, frame all. Okay, so you can see that we have only one animation cycle. So I will just quickly copy and paste. Okay, copy the selected keyframes and move to the end of the cycle and paste, and move to frame 44 and paste again. 66, paste again. 88, paste again. And also 110, paste again. So I think we have enough animation keyframes. So let's look at the animation again. Let me scrub timeline. I realized that we only keyframe cycle the rotation information, but the overall up and down animation is not there. So let me select the hips locator and scope the translation only, and you can see that okay, the translation also have some animation keyframes on it. So let me select all the keyframes of one cycle. Yeah, one cycle. Copy and go to the end of the, so by the way, copy is here, and go to the end of the frame, paste again, 44, paste again, 66, paste again, and 88, paste again, and 110, paste again. And we should have enough keyframes for our 120 frame animation. So let's do a flipbook. And there you go. That's the flipbook of Remy walking animation. Okay, if you want to switch back to the geometry with all the tops and bottom cloth, you just point the object merge node to the Alt node and rebuild the cache again. And let me inspect with close on. So that's all for today's tutorial. I hope you like it. If you enjoy my tutorials, please subscribe my YouTube channel. There will be more tutorials coming. See you next time.